Hey everyone, it's Keeping It Real with Nikki and Jim. How are you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing beautiful. It's a beautiful day outside, totally sunny.
It is. The
I
sun
love
is
it.
shining and it's wonderful out. I can't wait to get out and see a little bit of the sun. I've been kind of busy lately.
Yeah.
So we've got a pretty jam-packed day. So I think we just need to start jumping into it. We're going to go ahead and bring on Carrie Selby, who's with Fairway Mortgage, so she can give us a little bit of what's going on in the market. So let's welcome Carrie. And then we have our special guest, Tanya. So we're going to be talking to her, and she does TJ staging. So hold on one moment. Hey, Carrie, welcome. How are you?
Hello,
Hi,
I'm doing
Carrie.
great. How are you both doing?
Good. So
Good.
I heard you have some good news for us today. Is that right?
Yeah, well, with the sun, springtime, it seems like more houses come onto the market. And so they're showing a poll for April 2023 saying that there's a solid increase in the activity for buyers, which is great for our market. So 68% of the nation is saying that they're seeing a big increase in their sales. 33% of those people are saying that they're also seeing an increase in sales price with that. So more buyers usually tends to drive up the prices of the homes just a little bit. So we did see a little bit of a dip in rates nationwide, went down about 1/10% from 6.4% to 6.3%.
That's why my guys are calling me today.
Yes. And so next month is the big month where we're really going to see, because we've kind of seen them slowly creeping down. But May 10th, that day that we told you guys to circle on your calendar, is coming quickly. And that's really going to be a good indication of hopefully a good drop in rates.
Perfect. Well, let's
Nice.
keep going then, right? Because I know I've got a
Yes.
couple of listings possibly coming up, and it sounds like a lot more buyers are coming on the market. So it's kind of an exciting time in real estate.
For
So
sure.
we talked a couple of months ago about, people like it was a good time a couple of months ago because the rates were still, I mean, they were a little bit higher, but there wasn't as much competition. And I think we're going to see some competition against you. I see multiple offers again out there. So
Yeah, it's like we talked about before. When you see the higher rates, the housing prices went down, but now that the more houses are on the market and the rates are starting to go down a little bit, the housing prices are going to go up. So you just really have to be careful and make a really good informed decision on when the best time for you to buy is.
yeah. So let's go ahead and bring Tanya in because I know she's been crazy busy. And I know you're working out there today. Hi, right?
I am actually at a elderly nursing facility staging their common areas today.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us. And I know it was kind of last minute. This is Tanya Johnson, and you're with TJ Staging, right?
hmm TJ's
Tanya,
design and staging. Yes,
Tanya saying that's right because you do other stuff too.
I
I keep
do.
thinking staging because it's just real estate. I say staging all the time. It's design and staging. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your company?
Sure, sure. TJ's design and staging was actually founded way back in 2001 as interior design. And then we quickly learned that the Kids at Peninsula market was not geared for interior design as much as it was staging. So we ventured off full time in 2006 for real estate staging. So we have been going gung ho ever since, staging here on the Kids at Peninsula. We do all types of vacant staging. We can do owner occupied staging packages, everything that has to do with staging. We pretty much cover it.
Okay.
Did I?
Hey, huh?
Am I there?
You are. It's perfect. Yeah. Jim, actually, I muted you. If you want to talk, can you do this? Raise your hand or something, hand a little bit because it's echoing again with your sound. Okay. Okay. So TJ, we've been talking about kind of getting homes ready for the market, and we talked about a lot about, you really want to make sure you have a really good traffic flow as far as being able to get through in and out and stuff like that, and make sure it's
Yeah.
spacious. Because what people don't understand is, it's not just walking to your couch and being able to get there, like like when you're living there, but it's actually having, two or three people, a broker, and then being able to have that room to turn around and move and look around and see what the home's really about. What do you think? Is that super important?
Very important. So with staging, I could tell you our number one thing is expanding square footage and,
Uh-huh.
and lighting within the home. So square footage number one in our books, and there's several ways you can do that with staging. People don't realize that if it's an owner occupied home where a family's living there, it has to be conducive to them. But upon entry, if someone is coming to view the home, you never, like, I'll give an example. You never want to walk into a back of a couch because it creates a visual blockage immediately, and then it also in your mind it forms what we call the cramped style. So immediately you break off in your mind like, oh, this house is cramped because you're walking into the back of a couch, versus if you were to put furniture on angles, it expands the square footage and opens up the room, so it would be a better flow for feng shui purposes.
Perfect. And I mean, we talked about lighting and how important it is to keep all the windows open and have the most brightest light you can to really, show off how, so you can see everything. Number one, we
Correct.
talked, about getting the house ready, about painting a little bit, just some general, all things people can do. But what we're hoping you can do today is kind of talk to us because, like I was telling you on the phone last night when Jim and I were talking the previous week, and Jim, just raise your hand if you want to jump in because I'll unmute you. It was just the echo, okay? Okay. But one of the things that we talked about was that I was, it's like, you need to paint your home, you need to get the curb appeal done, you need to rearrange your furniture. You have to pack, you have to be available to show it and have your, and if you have a family and stuff, I'm like, oh my, and I've got a lot of kids and dogs, and I'm like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. But the good
Yes.
thing, that's why we have professionals who help us, right?
Correct.
There's some
That
times
is
where
my job.
clients that, they're not going to live there. They're going to move out. They're going to go somewhere else. And it's like, get it, just put it on the market. And what can you do with like a vacant house? I mean, that's kind of probably the easiest one I would think for you. In some respects, it takes probably more work in other respects, but because you have to do more. But tell us a little bit about if you have a vacant house, what would that look like? And what kind of services could you offer?
Sure, sure. Well, we do 90% of our business is vacant home staging. We don't offer owner occupied home staging because of liability purposes, for our inventory as well as the rental furniture company's inventory. What we can do for owner occupieds is called a staging package. And that's pretty much where the homeowner will say, okay, make this place shine. I got $500. Go get what I need to make this place shine. And that actually is theirs to keep. They purchase that. So we would come in, do what's called an installation day, where we come in and add the throw pillows, the textiles, the area rugs, the mirrors, the artwork, the accessories, everything to make the home shine prior to putting it on the market. Where vacant staging is, I work with agents all the time. And they say, hey, I got a listing coming on. It's vacant, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, in Paulsbo. How soon can you get it staged? Because they know that once they place the order, we order the furniture, we give them a time frame for staging with a turnaround time, and then we just go and knock the property out. And basically, our packages for vacant staging are different. So we do a full vacant stage, and that is offered at $1.50 per square foot of the home, and that is the entire house being staged. Every room, every bathroom, every nook and cranny is staged. Then we offer a partial vacant staging package, which is $1 per square foot of the home. And that you're going to get all your main living areas. So you'll get a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, all bathrooms, and the primary master bedroom as well included in that. And then let's say the home has like a bonus room down in the basement or something like that. You can always do an add-on to a partial. And usually if the room is not ginormous, it's usually $150 for an add-on, whether that be an office or a bonus room or something like that.
Okay.
And then we offer also exterior staging, which, as Carrie said, we're getting into the spring and summer months.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that because I mean, you know, and with COVID too, I mean, so many people like I know the tiny houses were like the big talk about it like 3 or 4 years ago. But once everybody was stuck at home for days at a time with kids and all that stuff, they're like looking for extra space. And so having the extra space outside, at least in my opinion, is extremely important. So if you have a great patio, wouldn't
Yep.
that be a great idea for staging?
Correct. So we do exterior staging on in the front of the home and in the back of the home. We're very, very, very what's the word? We express highly to stage the front of the home because curb appeal, 99% of homes sell before the people even hit the front door. They sell online. And if the pictures don't look good from the exterior, they're not going to take the time to click through the interior. If the home looks raggedy, so to speak, from the outside, they're not going to look and see what's on the inside. So exterior staging is very key in my book. Curb appeal, upon entry, walking up, nice planters, nice welcome mat. If there's a little area there where they can be seated, a bistro set on the front porch would be great. And then, of course, outdoor entertainment going into the spring and summer months, everybody's looking for that in the backyard. So if there's a nice deck in the
barbecue, right?
yeah, you definitely want to stage as well.
Perfect. Okay. So if you do have, I mean, 'cause like that was my thing. It was like, I mean, I have so many families and most of mine are still living there. I mean, and that's the thing is you have kids and you have dogs and that would be my biggest thing is like, I wouldn't want somebody else's stuff in my house because I wouldn't want it to get destroyed. And so I was wondering how that would be handled. But you could come in and you do like, you'll sit down with them and you'll walk them through, like, get rid of this furniture, get rid of that. I mean, and really consult with them as far as like how to maximize that space and pull the colors out.
Yes, so we do full staging consultations. We do a staging consultation where we'll meet with the sellers and or the agent and do a walkthrough from front exterior to back exterior and everything in between. And we give them all suggestions. If furniture placement needs to change, we'll tell them, hey, move this couch here. If painting needs to be done, if new lighting needs to be switched out or new flooring, anything like that. And what we do is all suggestive. We could tell them, hey, you can do as little or as much as you like, but if you attempt to go down this checklist that we email to you, because they get an email report of everything that we discussed. So if they, go down the checklist and actually check off everything that we have suggested, definitely will make a difference within the sale of their home. And then we also stress, ROI as far as that is concerned. What to put their money into that's going to make the difference for return on investment.
Jim, do you have a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Tanya, hi. Wanted to ask too, Niki and I in our last week, we kind of did a pre-staging session, and we talked about the importance of cleanliness and smell.
Yes.
Do you guys, do you incorporate maid services too, where you deal with just the real I mean, you're dealing with position of furniture and all that stuff, but about cleanliness and smell?
So in our staging consultations, we address everything. We address cleanliness, especially, and smell. But what we stress to the owner occupied listing people that we do our consultations for is the more you can pack now, the better. Get it away, declutter at least 50% down, if not more. Start packing now because the house is going to go anyway. And then the best presentation is it has to be deep cleaned and it has to smell good, especially if they own pets.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yeah, pets is a very big thing because I know a lot of people who have a lot of animals that they don't smell the animals because they've been, so immune to living with the animals. But a person like myself who can't own any animals, immediately I could smell it upon entry.
Yeah. And it's different because I mean, when I'm out showing houses, it's like, I'll be out with one client and they'll say, don't smell anything. Then I'll be like, oh my God, I can smell. I mean, smell is one of the biggest things for reals. It's like that's probably a huge one. So I've got two other questions for you.
Sure.
Do you have any idea what staging usually increases the value? Like, I mean, like what you would get on top of like the value of the sale? I mean,
Well,
I know
I
it
would,
changes and it depends on so many other factors. It's hard to do that, and it's like kind of a weird question because. But is there a kind of a number out there that randomly helps, or not really?
usually what we tell them is it can increase between 5 and 10 grand, depending upon the home, depending upon the market, depending upon what's going on within the area. Now, I will tell you this. We just came off a 17 house stretch. We did 17 houses in the last month and a half. Um, Out of the 17, 6 of them went on the first day with at least 5 offers each and all over asking price. And the majority of what we saw, and Kitsap is starting to heat up right now really bad. The majority of what we saw was about 22 grand over asking on each one.
Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, I think this season's gonna be excellent for us.
Yeah, I do too. And I mean, if you can, I think if if you are in that position where you're not there and you can stage, absolutely, and to have just getting that house to set up as much as you can so it's ready to go. My other question, I know you don't do this, but I've been seeing a lot more of it. And I was just curious if that's something you were thinking about adding or what your thoughts are about this. I know virtual staging is kind of becoming a thing, right? It makes it
just gonna say,
what's so weird is like I've got so many clients who walk in and go, this house does not look anything at all like that picture. You know what I mean? Because it's so much. So it's I can see the pros and cons of it. I mean, sometimes it's nice, like, oh, you could imagine it looking like this, but
right.
other times it's kind of like, you're not really given a real true perception sometimes. So what are your thoughts on it as a stager?
So, as a physical stager, I am completely against virtual stager. I'm completely against virtual staging, and I'll tell you why. Yes, it looks beautiful online, but you are going to lose that sale upon entry of the home. I have seen it time and time again where they're just gung ho about how it looks so beautiful online, and then they get to the front door and they're let down. And when a person is let down, immediately it forms an objection in their mind as far as proceeding forward, because being let down is one of the strongest emotions. Disappointment is one of the strongest emotions a person carries. And when disappointment happens, 9 times out of 10, they're going to revert where they would have had that sale had it been looking the exact same way it was looking online.
Right. And I was just having a talk with my son about that too. And, about like AI, for instance, and how, it was going to do this big thing. And I said, but, I mean, it's kind of like buying clothes. I mean, in a home, to me, at least, it's very personal. It's something that, it could be a smell. It could be the feel of the home, that just
Right.
the that you actually have to kind of walk through and go through. I mean, you can do a video tour all you want, but it's not going to be the same as like sitting at the door and going, oh my God, I didn't even realize it had this view. And I am just like blown away. So so that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's ever going to be replacing it because,
exactly. Well, I could tell you,
pants have to fit.
yeah, and I can tell you this: 92% of homes sell off of emotion. People buy homes off of emotions. If they cannot connect their emotions upon entry, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to buy that house. There has to be some kind of emotion that is tapped into, whether that's smell, hear, taste, something. That's why it's very, very important to make the home inviting and welcoming, but then also to tap into the smell sense as well. So it has to smell good upon entry, has to smell fresh and clean, and all those factors combined together with staging, physical staging, is what sells a home for multiple offers and over asking price every single time. I actually had I had an agent who hired me to stage a home. The home was on the market for like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and it was virtually staged on the market. She did not take it down. She didn't take the pictures down or anything. She did not even put the new pictures up of my staging. But what she did was she kept doing tours, and every single person, she said, every single person that entered the home said it looked better in person than it did online because it was completely different. And because of the inviting aspect, the smell, everything lined up when they walked through the door versus what they saw online.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's
and
a big key factor.
silliest things, it's really not the silliest if you really think about though, but one of the probably the first impressions that you're going to have is the front door, right?
Is the door. Yep.
It's the front door. I mean, if that front door is all beat up and the dogs are
Yep.
scratched up, and it's just, that's the first
Yep.
thing you're going to put your hand on to walk in that house. And,
Right.
you know, if it's dirty, you're going to be like instantly going, ew. So,
Yep. That first objection is formed upon entry. So curb appeal is very, very, very high in my books. Curb appeal and making sure that the exterior shines so that when they actually do walk through the front door, the outside matches the inside.
okay. And that leads up to our next conversation for next week, because we're going to be talking to Greater Approach Landscaping, and they're going to be talking about how to get your yard and all that other good stuff set up outside too. So you'll have Tanya here who can do the staging with TJ Designs and Staging, and then you can bring in a Greater Approach to do the lawn and get that set up, and you guys will be ready to go to get listed this summer. So, or the spring, hopefully, right? Not later,
Yeah.
earlier.
Earlier the better. So you beat the rush.
Exactly. TJ, I kind of cut off the bit or your slides that you sent. Is there anything you wanted to talk about that's on any of these I missed before we?
No, actually, the biggest thing that I want to stress is why staging, and I'll tell you why. Multiple offers, and over asking price, is the why to stage, and then also too, just to complete the transaction in a whole and close out the deal with everyone on every side looking good, feeling good. The whole transaction goes off without a hitch, easy closing. All of that plays into effect when the home is properly staged.
Okay. All right. You guys, thank you for joining Keeping It Real with Niki and Jim. We so appreciate Carrie having you on here and Tanya to have you on here. And everybody have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Next time.
Thank you so much.